everybody, and welcome back to Gregtech New Horizons. How's your guys' day been? Good? Let me know down in the comments below. So, last episode, we got ourselves finally into applied energistics. Having this now is amazing, and with this now, we'll be able to start auto-crafting stuff very soon. I cannot wait to be able to start auto-crafting. We're powering this guy using the power of the dragon. We're generating 1 amp of EV power being buffered in a battery buffer, and we're even buffering even more power inside the dense energy cells. And I've added 2 more since last episode, so this guy has plenty of power to run with. And yeah, I don't think we're going to have any issues with this guy anytime soon. All of our items are being stored in drawers or in item cells up here in the drives, so we should be good for a while. So what's the plan for today? Well, I think it's about time we start looking into getting all of these different multi-blocks, or at least some of them, being made. Especially like ones like the precision lathe, bending machine, centrifuge, and electrolyzer. They're going to all be things that are going to help us now in the future. But to make those, we're going to need an alloy blast for smelter to be able to make the materials. Like this one here needs talonite. How do you even get talonite? You can make them right now in a mixer, but I think it's more beneficial to do it inside of a alloy blast smelter because it directly smelts it into fluids, and then you just fluid solidify that into any shape you want. So I think that'd be the best way to do it. But before we do any of that, there's something I want to get set up first, and that is a mob farm. I want to get myself a mob farm up and running because we're going to need a couple of drops from these mobs. One is, well, 2 things actually for building the base. We're going to need ink from squids and wool from sheep to be able to make black wool for making this floor. Because to make cubits, we're going to need a ton of black wool and stone. Stone is something we can make infinitely, but trying to farm up a ton of wool and ink is not really that efficient. So using a mob farm for that would be really beneficial. And there's also another mob I want to get set up in a mob farm. And the mob farm we're actually going to be setting up is actually another multi-block, and it's called the Extreme Entity Crusher. This is a temporary location for him, but this is what the actual multi-block looks like. I'm just missing the controller, so let's go make that right now. And the other mob we want to set up other than sheep and squids is someone who's actually going to give us a lot of diamonds. Now, you might remember me last episode mentioning how we're low on diamonds. I did set up the single block multi-miners on some diamond ore veins, but that only gave me about 550 diamonds. So we're going to need a lot more. And it seems the best mob for that is going to be the red cap sapper. You let me know this down in the comments. So we want to catch this guy, and he spawns in the Twilight Forest in the Hollow Hills. So we're going to have to go get one of those now in a moment. But we're using the red cap sapper instead of just a regular red cap because he actually gives us diamonds, exquisite diamonds, and the most important thing I'm looking forward to, balance shards. Yeah, he's the only mob that will drop balance shards. And if we can farm balance shards, we'll be able to use them to duplicate nether stars. And we're going to need a lot of nether stars now coming up into late IV, early LUV. So I cannot wait till we have all that set up. So let's go ahead and go to the Twilight Forest and get him. And actually, wait, no, before we go, I do want to get one mob up and running first. So let's get ourselves our Entity Crusher. This guy right here, he just requires 3 vacuum hoppers, an EV machine hull, 3 EV circuits, and 2 EV robot arms. Pretty simple. And he will just go over here and actually, let's grab ourselves what we're going to be using. And that is going to be the squid first. And the way the mob will actually be able to spawn in here is by providing it with a powered spawner. Now, a powered spawner needs a couple of items that we didn't have before, but I did make them between episodes. That's ender crystals and franken zombies. They all require a soul binder, which is made like this, ender resonator thingy. So we can make how many of these guys? 2. Ooh, we're going to need more than that. And this is the soul binder right now, and he is currently doing the sheep. But if we get ourselves the squid up and running first, so we'll do powered spawner plus broken spawner in an anvil. We'll make a powered spawner squid, and then over here inside the Extreme Entity Crusher, we can add in our controller. It should form. And by the way, make sure you're using the right tier of glass that corresponds to the tier of power you're using. This is titanium reinforced glass. If we look up borosilicate glass titanium is EV tier power, and we're using an EV energy hatch. So this guy needs some maintenance, and we can give him a chest, and we'll give him also a super tank for fluids. So put that there, put this here, and if we just put the powered spawner inside here, turn it on, yep, you can see the squid is in there. And if we have a look in here, yep, we're already getting ink sacks, and we should be getting experience. And this runs for about 2.75 seconds. And we get a guaranteed drop of ink sacs and a chance drop of raw calamari, which is something we'll probably end up just trashing anyway, unless we can use it for something else. It might be useful. We'll see. And actually, one other thing I just remembered, I think we can actually pump the fluid, come straight out of it, directly into this experience obelisk, which holds all of our experience. So if we put this here, turn on auto eject, yes, he is automatically inputting in levels, because we're going to need a bunch of levels now, because this guy can actually have a sword, and this sword can be enchanted with looting for a higher chance of drops. So getting a bunch of levels is definitely going to be very important. But let's not waste any more time and go get ourselves the red cat sapper. And like I said, he's in the twilight, and we're probably going to need some flight. Hopefully this won't take too long now to find him. Looks like it's been a while since I've been here. Another couple of mobs I did actually grab in here. Oh, there's one back there. All right, we just want to grab you. Wait, grab you. There you go. Explosions going off. Run! Oh god. Yeah, we need to be careful. All right, that wasn't actually that difficult. Yeah, there's two other mobs out of there I already did grab, and that is a fire beetle and a slime beetle. The fire beetle actually drops us a couple of things that might be useful. I'm not 100% sure. And that's the fiery ingots. These things right here. He'll actually drop us the fiery ingots, and I don't know if there's going to be any use, but he also gives us lava buckets, blaze rods, and blaze powder. And the slime beetle gives us a bunch of these slime blocks. And the special one we want is the purple one, because we can centrifuge that directly into rubber pulp and refine glue. So that'd be really nice. So we need ourselves 30 levels. How many levels has this guy gotten us already? 26, almost there. And this guy can also take a muffler upgrade because he's actually quite loud. Actually, I think I can directly connect this onto the output bus. Yeah, I can. Nice. All right, we have our 30 levels now to turn our spawner into the red cap sapper. So in these two go. We're just using a broken spawner. Hellfire Wisp, I think I grabbed that out of the nether. We definitely need to go get a bunch more broken spawners, but they take so long to break. All right, and now we need to leave this craft, and this takes a while. So hopefully by the time this crafts, we would have generated up another 30 levels. All right, the spawner should be done any second now, and there we go. Nice. So we have our 30 levels now, so let's turn this into our powered spawner and go swap out the squid. And he's been running for about 20 minutes now, and look how much stuff we already gotten off him. Amazing. I'm already back up to 13 levels. Insane. Right, let's stop you, put you in instead, and yep, now we swapped out to him, and now we should start seeing, oh yeah, that's another thing he drops, a ton of coal. And actually, this is another mob I want to get set up, wither skeletons, because if I can't get balance shards that fast, being able to just spawn the wither in and defeat him would also be very good. But yeah, we're getting gallium, gold nuggets, and coal. Right. I just need to get enough levels now to get ourselves our looting sword. And to do that, we're going to need about 40 levels. And what we can do is grab ourselves a book and quill, 3 of any mob heads, it doesn't matter. Inside of our enchanter here, combine these two here, and yeah, you see, we need 40 levels to get this. Should I upgrade this guy to IV tier power? We could throw on 2 EV energy hatches and speed it up. Maybe. Yeah, okay. So now he's running and generating mobs every 1 second. Okay, yeah, that's definitely way faster. And there we go. Our first balance shard. Still no diamonds yet. I mean, we got a flawless diamond, so that's not bad either. There we go. 40 levels. The only issue is we're going to need another 40 levels because we won't be able to duplicate this looting book. And to do that, we need to use our typesetting table. And I don't have my glasses right now. But if I was to put it on my reading glasses, if we have a look at the table here, it wants us to have another 40 levels. How hard to read that. 40 levels to turn this book into a typeset that we can actually use to duplicate. And also, the type of sword we're going to be putting in that guy, I'm hoping is going to be this guy, the etheric sword. And this guy has basically unbreaking on him. And it does, I think, work inside it. So we're going to need to get ourselves an activated division sigil to be able to make ourselves unstable ingots. Now, it's just turned morning time now, so we're going to have to wait till midnight to do the ritual. But as soon as that's ready, we'll also be able to get ourselves cursed earth that we can use to set up a different type of mob farm if we want. And if we're going to be doing that, we're going to need a silk touch shovel. We need a tool that has the ability to put something on it. Any of these guys here have the ability to have an extra modifier? Not really. I'm going to have to go level this guy up first. Never mind, I forgot about the block of gold, and a diamond adds a mining level or a modifier level. So there we go. Now we silk touch. Okay, we have our 48 levels. So shift right click, makes that, put this in here, duplicate a book, and then we can repair it using our Thermic Restorer. There we go. So now we can make looting books whenever we need. Right, we just need to wait for it to turn nighttime. Let's go find a place to set up this ritual. We're also going to need a sacrifice. So let's find the mob on the way. You'll do. All right, it's almost time now. So once it hits midnight or when this guy starts glowing in my hand, then we can perform the ritual. So the simple as putting down the sheep and slaying it. It's almost midnight. It's 11:30. Okay, we can do it now. So you down, slay. And there we go. And the only thing is this is going to start spawning a ton of mobs. So let's just pick up some of this cursed earth because later on this stuff will spread. Oh, God. Okay, this is getting a bit intense already. Just need a small bit. Okay, too many. 7. Yeah, that should be more than enough. Let's pick up our enchantment table and get out of here. When it turns daytime, that cursed earth will burn. But now that we have an activated sigil, we can make ourselves our ethereal sword. Right. So to make ourselves our unstable ingot is 1 diamond and 1 iron ingot. So we're going to need 2. So 2 of them, 2 iron ingots, and we're also going to need the actual sword handle, which is obsidian. And I think it requires this type of obsidian. Yeah, the obsidian stick from random things. Now, this also has to be done in a vanilla crafting table, so we can't do this in our crafting grid here. It won't work. And the other dangerous thing we need to be concerned about is if we exit the crafting table while this is still being crafted, it will explode. So, division sigil, 2 diamonds, or does it have to be over here on the left? Okay, 2 unstable ingots. We have 10 seconds to craft this thing. There we go. Etheric sword. And now with that, we can apply our enchantment book. Just need some levels. That gives us looting. And the reason we're using this type of sword is because it's unbreakable. Now, I don't know if that actually means this will actually work in here. So hopefully it does. 3 pieces of coal this time. Maybe it is working. 3 pieces of coal. And if we take out the sword, we're back down to 1. So yes, it is working. And yeah, we're going to get a lot of nice things out of this. 6 balance shards already. Amazing. And what else can we use these things for? Ooh, we can use these to make lights and lamps and stuff. Oh, yes, the creator, or like the super builder wand. Hang on. Can we make this right now? Yes, the super builder wand. I don't know how many blocks this guy does, but compared to our old builder's wand, this should do way more. All right, so now that we have all that, let's go ahead and see where we need to start now and getting ourselves our first multi-block. And the first one we're going to grab is our alloy blast smelter. So to make this guy here, we're going to need a material called zirconium carbide. Zirconium is something we actually don't have. That's just zirconium and carbon. But zirconium is actually something we can get by sifting purified tin ore, or I think ilmenite ore. Yeah, this gives us a bunch of other stuff, but the zirconium is what we're after right now. And it looks like it even comes from purified cassiterite. So I did actually, between last episode, set up the multi-block miner. Where we actually did the ritual is where it was. And we got ourselves quite a few resources, but I don't think we really got that much in terms of tin ore. I think we only got a tiny amount. So I might need to go set up the multi-block miners again, or even just the single block miners, just on single tin ore veins. Where is all my tin ore? Okay, I nearly have an inventory's worth of it, so maybe that is enough. So let's just throw it through the simple washer quickly. And then over here we have our sifter that we can put this thing through. So it's currently doing nether quartz right now, but we can stop that temporarily and see if we can get ourselves our first pieces of zirconium. Yeah, I really need to get the multi-block sifter, but we'll get that all down today. And did we get it? Yes, we got our first piece of zirconium. So we're going to need a ton of that to even make ourselves our alloy blast smelter, because it's built like this. So it's very similar to the alloy or the EBF, but instead of coils, it uses blast smelter heat containment coils. And instead of the invar casings, the whole top of it is made out of the blast smelter casing, which is the zirconium. So we're going to need quite a lot of zirconium to do this.
Purely
All right, there we go. We have ourselves our ABS alloy blast smelter. It's actually been a while since I set this up. It looks like nearly 23 hours exactly. Yeah, it's the next day. So what we're going to use this guy for first, we're going to make ourselves a material called stellite. And we're going to be using this to make ourselves our industrial electrolyzer. The reason we're making this one is because he's going to allow us to generate up a bunch of chemicals that we're going to need for chemical reactors. You might have seen me place down a few chemical reactors up here. And these are going to be used for making more circuit boards. If we want to make all these multi-blocks up here, there's a bit of an issue. We're lacking circuits. And for us to make more circuits, we're going to need more circuit boards. And yeah, this is a bit of an issue for us right now. We're not able to produce circuit boards. All because we ran out of iron 3 chloride, and to make iron 3 chloride, we need hydrochloric acid. So how do we make hydrochloric acid? Well, hydrochloric acid is a combination of chlorine and hydrogen. Now, how do we get chlorine and hydrogen? Well, we can get both of these fluids directly from salt water. So if we set up an electrolyzer, electrolyzing salt water, we can get all of this stuff here. And then we can use our chemical reactors here to make the hydrochloric acid. But how are we going to get fluids from down below in our fluid storage up here? Well, this is where fluid P2Ps come in. And I've been trying to figure out how this works actually, because this is my first time trying it out. And it took me a while to figure out what I was doing. So I've got right here a super tank being filled with oxygen. All of this oxygen is coming from our benzene setup over there. So what I have is a cable running underground from here all the way over to benzene, connected to this P2P right here. And as you can see at the top in the tooltip, it's named benzene. So all I have to do is, I think there's one more I need to set up over here, so I'll show this. But first, before you set up anything, you get a P2P tunnel, right click with a bucket to turn it into a fluid P2P, like so. Okay. And then using your advanced memory card, you can come in here and name it. Or you can use a quartz knife or something like that to name the P2P. As you can see, there's 3 blue lights over here, meaning we are connected. So this one right here is the only one I didn't connect because I was missing a piece of a cable. So if I connect you there, point you down, and turn on automatic output, the only set we're not turning on in here is enable input from output side, because we don't want oxygen going back in to be stored in these tanks. We want it all stored over there. So P2P, right click with bucket to turn into a fluid P2P, and now we're ready. So we just need to find our oxygen one, which is this guy right here. He is the input. All of these ones here are going to be labeled as output. If we look at the top tooltip up there, you can see it's labeled output side. And there's one setting I was messing up the whole time when I was trying to figure this out. I had this set to bind to output. So if I click any of these right now, what it'll do is the target P2P I select will become the input. This will become the input if I selected that one. So what I had to do is select the one I want, which is actually the input, and then click bind on this one. Or you can just change it to bind to input, find the one you're trying to connect to, bind, and now this one should be outputting oxygen, which it is, over to our super tank over there. So we're going to be doing that for a lot of fluids now. So let's start by getting ourselves other P2Ps now set up for different fluids. So let's start with this one here, and you are going to be hydrogen. And the reason we're using P2Ps for fluids instead of like storing it all on fluid drives, one, we don't have access to fluid drives right now, so P2Ps are the best, or the super tanks are the best option we have. And two, P2Ps have no transfer rate, as far as I'm aware. These things will transfer the amount of fluid you pump into them as fast as you can pump into them. So that's amazing. So this one here, chlorine, and then this one here is going to be sulfuric acid. And then the last one here is going to be, oh wait, no, there's 2 more we need. So this one's hydrochloric acid. And then the last one here is going to be for iron 3 chloride. And we probably don't need a massive super tank for this one. I'll just call this one iron 3. Okay, and for that one, I guess we could just use a smaller tank. Let's go with a medium voltage tank, because we're going to have this thing constantly creating a forest, but there's no point creating a massive buffer for it. And to pump it back into the P2Ps, we're going to need a pump. HP pump enough? Let's be on the safe side and go with EV. Probably definitely does not need that. So these ones here then. So this one is hydrogen, chlorine, sulfuric acid, hydrochloric acid. And then we said this one's iron 3. So that. And then pump down. And I think we might need a screwdriver to allow input. Can I go in here? Yes. So this guy is going to be export and allow input. Okay. So each one of these ones need to point down back into the P2P because we need a way of being able to pump it out. And then in here, allow input from output side. So we want fluids to be able to come in and out of this guy. And we want to lock the fluid and auto eject. And we're using one frequency per fluid. So once the fluid gets pumped in, it'll automatically lock if we have this set and enabled. As long as we don't misclick on the certain P2Ps. So first of all, to get ourselves our electrolyzer, we have to get the EBF up and running, or the ABS. So this guy here on circuit 4 will make us molten stellite. Turn them on. Now, even a HV bus isn't big enough to hold all the items, but that's fine. So this takes 40 seconds. It'll output it into this super tank, which will auto fluid eject it out into this fluid solidifier that has an ingot mold, which will pump it up and store it in this chest. And this makes 20 ingots at a time every 40 seconds. Yep, you can see the molten stellite being made now. So we need a couple stacks of this. All right, plenty of stellite has been made. So we should have everything here for our... Oh, we're missing 2 IV machine cases. And there we go. Industrial electrolyzer. So what we'll do is we'll set that up here with our chemical reactors. We'll probably do it like right here. But let's first start making ourselves sulfuric acid. So to make sulfuric acid, I've already added all the input buses and hatches we need. So we need 2 input hatches, one for oxygen, one for water. Speaking of water, I forgot to grab a reservoir and a pump. Water reservoir on one of the input hatches with a pump. Tell this guy to import, so you're pulling in water. On the bottom middle right here, we have an input bus with a conveyor belt. We want to set this guy to circuit 24. And then we want to add an ME interface on U. And in U, we're going to have sulfur dust. So sulfur dust, in you go. And then when we connect this to network, we should be pulling sulfur from our storage drawers. Then this is where the P2P tunnels come in. So one's going to go here and one's going to go here. So this is the output. This is where sulfuric acid is going to go. So sulfuric acid output. And all we have to do then is just connect up all of our cables here. I have a P2P tunnel connected down over here. So you are output side, which is correct. And that connects to this here. Okay. So these will all come online. Let's turn these 2 here into fluid P2Ps. And now we just need to bind them. So memory card. This one's going to be oxygen. And we want to bind this one as an output. Or it actually doesn't really matter. So you will find oxygen. Oxygen input. Bind. And then they're both outputs. And if we look in here after a second, we should see oxygen. Yes. And all we have to do now is, if this guy's got sulfur, yep, turn them on. Shut down due to power. Oh, you know why? I forgot to connect the cable down over here. Now, if we've tried this again, yes, we're making sulfuric acid and it's in here. And this is only taking 0.4 of a second. Wow. Okay, so now what we want to do is in here, find sulfuric acid and bind. So now all the sulfuric acid is automatically going out down into that input bus down there, or fluid P2P. So if we look over here, sulfuric acid. Right, now that that one's set up, let's get hydrochloric acid being set up now. So similar thing, P2Ps. So this is input, output, input, hydrochloric acid. And this needs circuit 1. So I have a program circuit here, throw that in there. And then connect U and U there. You know what, we don't even need the cable going all the way down. So we just connect it to here. This is only 6 channels, it should be. I guess because these guys aren't connected, it's not actually showing the channels yet. But these are all be fluids. So this one can be chlorine. So you bind to chlorine. And this one here bind to hydrogen. Okay. And then this one here is going to be bound to hydrochloric acid. Right. Now we have no hydrogen or chlorine yet. So that's why we need to build the electrolyzer. All right, so from under here, we need to figure out how we're connecting power. So this is that. So if I put, say, an insane, let's actually disconnect the cable here temporarily. This thing shut down. So we say insane transformer, connect you there. And then what we can say is energy hatch here, point you down, and then get another transformer, which is the IV to EV one. So this is inputting LUV, outputting IV. So point you down the way. And now you should be outputting EV to your power. And if we connect the superconductor cable, doesn't have to be superconductor, only one block, but we have it, so why not? And then we connect this cable right here, and then connect this cable back. No explosions, so it must be done right. And now we finish building the rest of the multi-block. Now, this one needs a muffler hatch, so muffle top middle. It needs a maintenance hatch, so we'll put that right here. And it's also going to have an item output, so let's put that... Yeah, we can put that in the middle here. So, output bus, input hatch is going to be top middle, and a maintenance hatch, that can go to back middle here. And then our two output hatches. Point these two down, and now connect our ME interface. This one doesn't need a conveyor belt since it's going to auto-eject. Two P2Ps. Change these both to fluid. Okay, and then connect them. All right, and now just make sure the fluids don't go anywhere. Hydrogen will come out right here, and chlorine will come out here. Cool. And then we're going to get a byproduct of sodium bisulfate, I think. They're already fluid P2P, so this one we said was going to be hydrogen. So we just find hydrogen. Select the input. And then this one is going to be chlorine. Select the input. Okay, so that one's more or less ready. Just need to do a little bit of maintenance. And he's ready. Right. We just need salt water. So we almost have 3 full tier 5 super tanks filled with salt water. Point them all down. All auto fluid eject. And turn you on. Oh, don't you need a circuit as well to do this? I think you need circuit 1. So I'll give that to you. Yes. And just to double check, will he work without the circuit? No, he does need the circuit 1. Right, so now we should be able to come downstairs and see hydrogen and chlorine filling up the system. Oh, the hydrogen was in here, but it automatically got sent out. And this one is chlorine. So if we come back up to the chemical reactors, we should see it in the input hatches here. Yes, we do. Now, are these buffering? No. And now that these are full, we should see it down here. Right? Okay, now we do. Nice. Because where we should have a lot more. But the sodium hydroxide has its own drawer down below. What can we use sodium hydroxide for? We can also electrolyze it for sodium formate. Oh, that's chemical react. Yeah, we could electrolyze it for more oxygen and hydrogen if we wanted to, but we'll save that for later. Right. Iron 3 chloride now. Wait, need to turn you on. So hydrochloric acid is buffering here. Oh, wait, no, it should be down here now. Yes, it is. So last one then here. Does this thing require a circuit for making iron trichloride? No, it doesn't. Okay, so same thing as the one over there. Interface, iron dust, P2Ps. You are output, so you are iron trichloride. Connect up the cables and link them. So this one here can be... Oh yeah, because this actually has 2 outputs. So yeah, this one's iron trichloride, and then this one is hydrogen. Forgot it has a byproduct. So yeah, so you are going to be bound to hydrogen input. You are going to be iron tree input, and you are going to be hydrochloric acid input bind. So we should see hydrochloric acid in here when the network updates. Yes, we do. And do we see iron in here? No, because I forgot to connect that cable. Now do we see iron? Yes. So if we turn this guy on, iron trichloride, and it's emptying, and you're emptying. So if we come downstairs now, we should see iron trichloride. Yes. Oh, this is perfect now. So we have the ability to have like all of our fluids just be buffered and stored and then pump them out to wherever they need to go. Why are you offline? Ah, you're just waiting on chlorine. And you shut down due to power loss, but you should be good to keep going. Nice. Now here comes the fun part. We're definitely going to run out of time, but screw it, we're going over time. So now we have iron trichloride. Let's actually start working on 2 more chemical reactors here and here. One is going to be making the actual basic circuit board, like the empty one. And then the next one's actually going to be making the circuit board. And then we'll store those in the system, and then we can just take them out and batch craft like a tons of circuits at a time. So let me make the extra chemical reactors. All right, I think I have this ready to go now. So we're going to have some interfaces and P2P tunnels. We're wall sharing 2 chemical reactors. This one here is going to be making ourselves the basic board, and then this one here is going to be creating the actual final board. We have in the middle right here an output bus for this guy here to output only the epoxy circuit board, and then that will be inputted here into this input bus. We have limited insertion turned on so it doesn't fill the entire thing. So essentially interface, and now we just need to filter these guys. So this one to make the blank one is gold foil and epoxide sheets. This one here requires just the electrum foil. And oh yeah, I need an output for the final item. Forgot about that. We can put that back down over here. So you be filtered to only output this item here. All right, so interface. These two interfaces here need a conveyor belt to be able to pull the items up. Okay. And then these 2 here are just P2Ps connected to the network. And now using our memory card, we just need to link everything up. So you are going to be, oh yeah, I need to change it to fluid first. So you, sulfuric acid, and then this one, iron trichloride. So you should fill with sulfuric acid. You did. This one here filled with iron tree. You have electrum foil. You have these 2 items here. Does this need a circuit? No, it doesn't. So if we turn it on, we're making ourselves our epoxy circuit board. They get outputted into here. They should get auto ejected into here though. Will this thing still pull in the electrum foil? No. So how am I supposed to get the items from here into here? The only way I can think of it is just storing it in the ME system and then pumping it back into here, but that makes absolutely no sense. Okay, let me try something. Okay, so if I move the output bus on the top into its separate input bus, it should still work then. Yes, so it's using up everything in here. The advanced circuit boards should be being output and going back into the system. I'm going to have to set up a storage drawer for them. But yeah, this system here is now working as intended. So we're getting our iron trichloride, sulfuric acid, that's being made here. Hydrochloric acid is being made here, as long as we have salt water. And iron trichloride is being made as long as we have hydrochloric acid, because we have salt water. Amazing. And look how neat and tidy this is now, since all the cables are underground. And just before we end, we're looking at our mob grinder, and yeah, we're just after hitting over 400 balance shards. Oh, that is amazing. And nearly 1,000 diamonds. I mean, after crushing these guys up, yeah, there's well over a couple thousand diamonds here. That is insane. But I'm gonna call it there now, so I hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell while you're at it then as well. So, without any further ado, goodbye.